When you see President Xi of China, when you see Kim Jong Un of North Korea, when you see Putin, and you see all of these people, they're at the top of their game, whether you like it or not, and they can't believe that this has happened to the United States. We have lost respect all over the world.
Wow. Moments ago, Donald Trump's reverence for autocrats of the world was on full display in the city where he stands trial, in the New York City borough of the Bronx, one of the most deeply blue counties in the nation. The Bronx, which boasts a Hispanic and black majority, might seem like an odd choice for a man who echoes Hitler on immigration and whose Truth Social boasted about a unified Reich. But it's just the icing on what's been a topsy-turvy week in American politics. Already this week, Trump accused President Biden of trying to kill him, and then floated, but then unconvincingly walked back the idea that he was open to states restricting access to birth control. The once grand old party, of course, has totally caved. The latest being former presidential candidate Nikki Haley, who once said that she felt no need to kiss the ring, only to kiss the ring in public remarks when saying she plans to vote for Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the actual president is getting actual things done. On Wednesday, President Biden announced the cancellation of an additional $7.7 billion with a B dollars in student loans for 160,000 Americans. He also reached an historic milestone of appointing more than 200 federal judges, the majority of them women and people of color. Joining me now is Charles Blow, MSNBC political analyst and columnist for the New York Times, and Molly Jong-Fast, Vanity Fair special correspondent and MSNBC contributor. Let me play for you all to enjoy Nikki Haley's, a bit of her speech, juxtaposed with some of the facts to fact check it. Here it is.
As a voter, I put my priorities on a president who's going to have the backs of our allies.
But NATO, you take a look at NATO, every deal is horrible. I haven't seen any deals that are like good deals.
And hold our enemies to account.
I think Putin's been a very strong leader for Russia.
Who would secure the border, no more excuses.
Nikki Haley has been in the pocket of the open borders establishment owners her entire career, and she's a globalist, you know, she likes the globe.
Trump would be smart to reach out to the millions of people who voted for me and continue to support me.
People behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-war, pro-deep state, and pro-Biden. That's not too good.
Make it make sense. Why is she endorsing him? Oh, maybe we knew she was going to.
Right. I think she would. Yeah. Look, she's not a person with a lot of moral courage, and she has never been. She served in that admin. I thought maybe she'd be smart and have an eye towards democracy. That is not how it works. And look, all these Republicans have fallen in line except Mike Pence.
Yeah.
His former
Chris Christie.
Right, Chris Christie. But Mike Pence was his former vice president. Yeah. And he, again, Trump did a lot of terrible stuff to him, but he did actually say, I'm not going to vote for him, which I think is a meaningful. And by the way, a lot of people in Trump's administration have also come out against Trump, just not Nikki Haley.
Let me play really quick what she said about kissing the ring.
He's gotten more unstable and unhinged. He spends more time in courtrooms than he does on the campaign trail. Many of the same politicians who now publicly embrace Trump privately dread him. I feel no need to kiss the ring.
Those who embrace Trump privately dread him, Charles Blow. There is a thing in autocracy where everyone has to take the knee. Everyone must do it. It's just not on Game of Thrones. They're all doing it to what end?
Listen, Nikki Haley is smart. She's articulate. She's very accomplished. She's also a person who lacks any integrity whatsoever. Zero. And that has always been the case. She has always been one of the most transactional politicians that we have in this country. And she continues to show us that that is who Nikki Haley is. I was really kind of blown away during the Republican primaries when people kept saying, oh, she's different. It's a different kind of Republican. This is a viable alternative. No, this is always who Nikki Haley has been. Yeah. This is always who Nikki Haley will be.
I covered the taking down of the Confederate flag, which he falsely took credit for. It was really Democratic lawmakers who did it. And she was as transactional as she could be because she was for that flag. Let me stay with you for just one moment, Charles Blow. What would be the point of Donald Trump going to the Bronx and bigging up Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong Un in a place he can never win? The Bronx is full of Black and Latino folk, and he's not fond of those.
Right. Well, but you said it yourself in your question. He's not going to win New York. He's not going to win the Bronx. But that audience is not the Bronx. Yeah. The audience is everyone else in states that he could possibly win. And what he tries to do, and there's no downside for him to do this, by the way, what he's trying to do is to signal to other people, in swing states who are white, who don't want to be thought of as voting for racists, to soften the ground there and say, well, maybe he's not such a racist. Also, to maybe shave off a couple of percentage points among Blacks and Hispanics. Also, people who look at it and say, I don't want to vote for a racist. And they say, well, maybe he's not as racist as they say that he is. This is signaling to other people, has nothing to do with New York, has nothing to do with the Bronx.
Yeah, the unified Reich thing, he just says things like that. It's Trump. That's what they want us to be. Unified Reich is like a thing. It's like an actual, Google it.